Hello everyone, welcome to a channel update for February. That just means it's being released this month. It's not necessarily representation of my plans or anything like that to actually get things out quickly or any time constraints or anything like that. So yeah, and the video in the background should be myself shooting an image, or images as it was, but some stuff for my Jigsaw Puzzle of the Week for Tabletop Simulator, so that should be, well, at least interesting, sort of, or some sort of content to have in the background, so yay, there we go. Anyway, you may have noticed last month that my videos just stopped, and I didn't put up any other things or any explanations, and that's because ran out of bandwidth again. Yay! No, not yay. Yeah, so good news on that is for the next 6 months, it's going to be unlimited bandwidth, but sadly that does not mean the speeds that I have are changed. So they're the same speeds. It can take a day to upload a couple of episodes, so that's all set still. I'm limited on that, so one video a day is doable, but it can get annoying. 2 videos a day can get super annoying, so keep that in mind for the future stuff that I'll be discussing, that kind of thing. So, and then time constraints I mentioned is basically the more stuff I work on, the probable less amount of stuff that I'll get out, depending on the amount of time it takes to work on it, depending on where exactly it is. So if I spend more of my time doing like tabletop simulator mods, that kind of thing, then there's going to be less videos. And the furnace just turned on, so hopefully it's not loud for this thing. Anyway. Okay, so to get to the games, Guild Wars 2 Structured PvP. I'm waiting on the next season to start. That should be coming up pretty soon. And I maybe go back to the video a day because, well, it was decent. I like doing it, and it's pretty fun. The downside with that, however, is, well, again, time constraints of getting them up, but that series is generally made to get up quickly and not too much editing. So if I added any intro stuff and outro stuff and that kind of thing, then that would add a ton more work to that series. So if I want to keep it as a less required but more uploaded type series, then it will need to stay as simple as it is with the decent amount of quality that I like with it. So there's that. The other side of it, I may focus more on a couple of specific classes. Probably more Thief, and I may swap out one skill on there just for some survivability, maybe. And Mesmer has survivability. I like Mesmer. And then a couple others once in a while, just for fun, because their builds are decent. So there's that. The next one would be Starbound. You've seen, or at least you can see them up on the channel. And that's from the recording sessions we've done, or I've done, or we've done. I think it's mostly been multiplayer, so yeah, we've done. And those are from the big blobs, and I hate doing those big blobs because they generally take the same amount of time as recording to actually edit. And that is not fun when it's a 3-hour blob. But those are mostly through the big blobs, that is, so the next ones for that will be a little bit easier to edit because they're more episodic and they might have more of a focus, so they'll probably be a little bit better. But I like how I did the intro on that. What's next here? Space Engineers Void Survival is done. It is complete. And that is unfortunate. I like that series. But I'm also starting work on a new series, and it'll be Planet Bound. Well, not Planet Bound, but that would be an interesting way to do it. But, you're really losing out on a lot of things. But it'll have the focus being on the planet at the start. So again, it's starting with nothing, and then going onto the planet to, well, get out of space for one and not suffocate, but then to capture ships and that kind of thing. So the downside with that is it's a little bit easy to actually capture ships because they just get pulled in via the planet. So that has to be turned off every once in a while to just avoid the amount of insane amount of ships that could clutter up the world and reduce the FPS. So yeah. And then speaking about FPS, my graphics are a little bit low on that series, and if I run into FPS problems, I may reduce some other stuff in there, but oh well, it's fun. I like it. So, yeah. Next up would be Borderlands. Borderlands we have not recorded anything from it, so whenever we do more recording for that, then it will be going up again. So that's basically it for that. We did do some grinding off camera, so it seems like it's a bit of a grindy game. We might grind off camera every once in a while. There might be someone joining in for that, there might not, I don't know. We'll see. And next up would be... covered that one. Oh, Minecraft. Yeah, I might as well talk about Minecraft. The end is nigh, 15. I'm going to edit and throw it up at some point. So that's just a quick little going through the world and going over some thoughts, that kind of thing. So it's a short video. It's nice. And then the follow-up to that Minecraft one, I'd like to do a follow-up in the 1.9 release. I think I mentioned that in the Tyne series as well. So whenever 1.9 comes out, I'll probably do that on a server, not on single player. And if I don't find a server to do it on, so I'd want some sort of stability, that kind of thing. So I don't know if any of the other people will be doing anything like that as well. So it might just be on my own with invites to anyone that I know that wants to join, they can join. So, what else is there? I think that covers the main stuff. So, YouTube is a hobby. And as a hobby, it takes up hobby time. And I've actually been spending a fair amount of my hobby time doing mods for Tabletop Sim. So the video in the background, of course, is one of those mods, and that's also practice to get some Photoshop. Well, it's not Photoshop, it's Fireworks. My old version of Fireworks. I don't care about updating it because it works fine. Eventually I'd like to maybe get one of the older versions that don't require a subscription fee, because subscription fees on software are ridiculous, and I refuse to do that. Especially if it's ever done on an operating system. That's a pure That's a pure no on that. So, yeah. And part of that Tabletop Sim stuff is getting into contact with devs and asking for permission to actually do their content. And, of course, I'm not going to be charging for that, because basically I'm just getting the permission to, yeah, go ahead, as long as you don't charge for it. So, yeah. But being a hobby, of course, I could ask for donations, or Patreon seems to be one of the big things around, and I don't really think it's worth trying to do that. I've done that in the past for projects, and I've generally seen nothing come from that. So, yeah, these will just remain a hobby. And if more interest appears, then maybe in the future it could go more English speaking good I am. It could go over a hobby and do a little bit more, like, consider it contract work or something like that, but it's a hobby. So if I forget anything, then I'll just add it in another one of these updates at some point in the future, or I could just say it in the description or something like that, but probably nothing. So if you have any comments or suggestions or requests or questions or whatever else, just give me a shout, comments, or message me, or if I have an email, maybe I should set up an email for this. Yeah, I should set up an email for this. But yeah, so if you have anything, you can just throw a shout at me, and then I'll see it, and then I could respond to it, or I could make a video on it, or whatever. So yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think I have anything else to add, and again, I can just add it. Have a good whatever it is at your location, and goodbye.